When you look up at the night sky, you're not just looking at stars. You're looking back in time, billions of years, to the very beginnings of everything. Before there was blue sky, before there was ocean, there was only darkness and dust. And from that cosmic dust, a miracle began to take shape. This is the story of how a silent void became our home, how fire became water, and how chaos gave birth to life. Welcome to Decoding, the birth of Earth and the evolution of life. 13.8 billion years after the Big Bang, a new light flared in a spiral arm of the Milky Way, our sun. Around it, a swirling disk of dust and gas began to collide, fuse, and form the early worlds. Among them, one world stood apart, a young planet of molten rock, forged in fire, scarred by collisions, baptized by chaos. This would become Earth. Then came the Great Collision. A Mars-sized body named Theia slammed into the infant Earth. The explosion birthed the Moon, our eternal companion, balancing our tides, stabilizing our spin. Earth was no paradise, but it was alive with potential. As the planet cooled, something incredible happened. Rain, endless rain, poured for millions of years, carving valleys and filling basins. Oceans were born. Volcanoes breathed gases into the sky, carbon dioxide, methane, ammonia, forming a heavy, toxic atmosphere. No oxygen, no blue skies. But under those dark clouds, chemistry was stirring, the kind that whispers of life. Zircon crystals from this age tell us that water and crust existed over 4.4 billion years ago. In a world once ruled by lava, life was quietly preparing its first breath. What does it take to create life? Maybe it began deep beneath the seas, near hydrothermal vents, where heat met minerals and energy met possibility. Or perhaps it began in shallow pools under ultraviolet light. No one knows for sure, but sometime between 4.0 and 3.7 billion years ago, the first living molecules began to copy themselves. Simple, single cells, tiny architects of the future. Microbes thrived in oceans rich with iron and sulfur, building communities we now call stromatolites. They were Earth's first engineers, changing chemistry, paving the way for what would come next. For billions of years, life remained microscopic, but these unseen beings ruled the planet, silently transforming rock, water, and air. Then came the revolution. Around 2.4 billion years ago, tiny cyanobacteria discovered photosynthesis, capturing sunlight to split water and release oxygen. At first, oxygen was poison. It rusted iron, turned oceans red, and suffocated ancient microbes. But over time, it reshaped the world. The atmosphere turned blue. Ozone formed, shielding the surface from radiation. The great oxygenation event had begun, the single most important transformation in Earth's history. Life didn't just adapt, it evolved. But nature always balances creation with chaos. About 700 million years ago, Earth froze. A global ice age scientists call Snowball Earth. Oceans sealed beneath kilometers of ice. Yet even in this frozen tomb, life endured. And when the ice finally melted, nutrients flooded the seas, igniting an explosion of diversity. The Cambrian Explosion. Creatures with shells, eyes, and limbs filled the oceans. Trilobites crawled. Jellyfish drifted. Life was no longer microscopic. It was magnificent. Soon, plants colonized the land, Insects took flight, and vertebrates followed. The planet had come alive. But the story of Earth is also the story of extinction. 5 times, life nearly ended. Volcanic winters, shifting continents, and the most famous of all, the asteroid impact that ended the age of dinosaurs 66 million years ago. Yet every ending was a beginning. Mammals rose from the ashes, and among them, a species capable of reflection and curiosity. Humans, born in Africa, shaped by fire, guided by stars. In just a heartbeat of cosmic time, we built civilizations, cities, machines, and now we gaze back at the stars that birthed us. But our arrival marks a turning point. For the first time, life itself can alter the fate of the planet. We call this era the Anthropocene, the age of humans. Will it be an age of destruction or understanding? Imagine Earth's 4.6 billion year history compressed into one day. Life begins before dawn. Dinosaurs appear at 10 p.m. Humans? We arrive 4 seconds before midnight. Everything we know, our art, our science, our history, fits inside those final seconds. And yet, within those seconds, we hold the power to shape all that comes next, to protect the only home life has ever known. From dust to ocean, from single cell to sentient mind, Earth's story is not just a chronicle of survival. It's a testimony to resilience, transformation, and wonder. Every mountain, every cell, every heartbeat is part of the same grand equation. We are the universe, decoding itself through curiosity. And the more we understand our beginning,